Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. So today we're going to do a quick and short little video. Wanted to kind of go over a couple of things on what happens whenever you do something wrong and the dip doesn't turn out right. So had a couple of questions on that, so we thought that we would shoot a quick video and pretty much just kind of give you a quick rundown of what do you do. So we've got a valve cover here, of course, carbon fiber. Everybody loves carbon fiber, but as you can see, we've got some imperfections in here. We've got a little bit of spots and a little bit of fading on this side. Of course, that imperfection runs all the way through, and then of course, if you look at the back side, quite a big stretch down through here. So of course, there's not anything that you can do to touch that up. So again, we're going to have to redo it. So what do you do in this situation? So do you have to re-primer it? Do you have to re-blast it? What do you got to do? So in this case, we've already blasted it down, we've already primered it, and we've already painted it. And then of course, we've already dipped it the first time. And of course, it didn't work. So now we're on to the second dip. So at this point right here, what you can do is you really just need to spray another coat of paint on top of it. And so some people will just take this, wipe it all down, get it all dried off, and then go into the paint booth, spray it with the paint, and then hit it again. Most of the time that's all right, but sometimes you can run into issues whenever the paint, if it's fully cured out or something like that, that it doesn't actually bond in with the second coat. And so normally what we like to do is we like to do a couple of different things. Either number one, use a red Scotch-Brite, and what you're going to do is you're just going to scuff the surface of it. You don't have to get all of the dip off. You don't have to take the dip and pretty much like remove everything and all of that. All you really need to do is just get a good scuff around the entire part. And so that could be of one of three options, all right? And so option number one, like I said, take a red Scotch-Brite on something like this. We'll go over here on this side, and pretty much we just want to scuff it up. And so by scuffing it up, this right here, once we blow it all off, get it all tacked off, ready to go, this will be ready for the second coat of paint that we're going to apply over it. Once we apply the second coat, it's just like normal. Take it over to the dip station, of course, let it dry, let it flash off, and then re-dip it again. Hopefully everything comes out better on the second attempt, and you're good to go. The good thing about doing this is that the first dip, it's of course already set and applied down, and so whenever you apply your second coat of paint over this right here that's already been scuffed, you get a lot better adhesion, a better quality job, and of course it's going to be a lot more durable. So whenever you go to redo something, let's say that you get a few little dust or dirt nibs, or just something doesn't quite look right, and you do need to sand it out, but you need to actually smooth it out as well, because sometimes whenever you dip, you will get some pinholes or spots in it that will create little bumps to pretty much like raise the surface. And so that's where, of course, getting some sandpaper. Most of the time, 400 to 600 grit sandpaper is kind of where you want to be at. Again, you don't have to take off the the whole dip or anything like that. You mainly just want to sand it down. And so in this case, this is some 400 grit sandpaper that we've got. And so now, again, we're not taking off anything, but you can see it's actually taking it off a lot quicker. And the main reason is that, of course, you can't feel it, but this actually feels a lot smoother, and it's going to keep everything completely smooth. So then that way, whenever we lay down the second coat, everything is, of course, going to lay out really nice and smooth, and then, of course, give the customer a lot better look over everything. And so most of the time, those are the two options that you have. Now, if you want, you can put it in the sandblaster and blast it. Most of the time, if you put it in a sandblaster, you're going to go all the way back down to normally like bare metal, bare substrate, unless you're far away and you're going at a low PSI. You can do that. Again, you don't have to take off the dip. It's still fine with it on there. You just have to pretty much etch the surface, so then that way whenever you go and you spray it with your second coat of paint, it has something to bond to. So if you have something that, let's say that you're probably like 4 to 5 dips in and you're just constantly respraying and respraying, I'm not gonna lie, that's probably the time that you might want to think about redoing the entire part. And so in that case, getting either sandpaper and sanding it all back down to bare substrate, or the sandblaster to take all of that off, or of course paint stripper to take all that off as well. The main reason why you want to do that is because whenever you start building up all those layers and layers and layers, normally after about the second, third dip or so, you want to start thinking about like completely taking it off or redoing the entire thing, because once you get so thick with that paint, that coating becomes not as durable. And so the main thing is because your thickness is so thick, because you've applied the paint so many times, your coating is a lot thicker, so it's a lot bigger chance of it wanting to chip or flake off or something like that, versus if you have one coat of paint, you dip it, everything didn't come out exactly perfect, but on the second dip it did. Most of the time you're pretty good with that. But once you start getting into, like I said, 3, 4, 5 dips in, that's something that you definitely want to make sure of, is that you still want to remember that you're putting out a good quality job. And so by doing that, yes, it is a lot more time consuming to sand everything back down, but in the end you're giving the customer a lot better coating, and you're making sure that your coating is going to last, because inevitably you don't want to do 5 dips in and then give it to the customer and then it comes back. All right. Nobody wants that, but it's definitely something that's possible. So that's why for us, we normally try to do 2, maybe 3 dips, and then after that we're sanding it back down, at least getting most of all of those paints off of there. Sometimes you can go directly over the paint if your primer is still there, but most of the time it's probably best just to go ahead and give it a new clean slate. So new primer, new paint, and then pretty much start over from there. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it is pretty quick, pretty simple, to the point, but sometimes we're just going to have those, and hopefully this will really help you guys out. So if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below. We'd love to hear from you. And you know, if you have any other questions, even videos that you'd like to see, definitely let us know. And if you haven't already, definitely subscribe. We'd love to have you. Yeah. Hold on. We'd love to have you subscribe to our weekly tips and tricks videos that we do. We put them out every week. Some are really in-depth, some are short and sweet and to the point, and you know, it just helps you learn